It's Valentine's Day, and most of you are nerds, so you should definitely be in here. I'm kidding. Alright, let's see how long it takes for notifications to go out on a very unique and possibly very final Dark Spidercast stream. Or indefinitely final. It's actually one of the topics that I do want to discuss later on as we kind of navigate topics. We'll see how far things go along. And I feel like it's very appropriate to do this on Valentine's Day, the day of love. Jason's Electric, welcome. Let me know if I'm a little too high on the... Hold on, am I peaking over on OBS? It doesn't show that I'm peaking. I've actually had some people say that it's a little too loud. It's been a little bit in the yellow. That's bad. Should be fine. So yeah, I'll give it a few minutes. Probably bring down the light a little bit more. Yeah, hopefully tonight I will go ahead and at the very, very least trim this, because it is, even though today's Valentine's Day, it is, however, Valentine's Day weekend. Me and the girlfriend have plans tomorrow, but not today. Today she works. Not only does she work, but she closes. I'm not seeing her until like 8:30 or whatever. I did make her something for Valentine's Day, but in terms of like actually like going out and having a dinner and things like that, it's like we're gonna have to punt that off to tomorrow. So, and only one of us got paid, not both. So we're trying to navigate those waters. Actually, let me double check. Yeah. And that's the thing. I don't think I've gotten the notification. Well, I just got the email. How are you guys doing today? I had pancakes this morning. I made pancakes. I made basically pancakes for myself and also for my girlfriend, but I'm not seeing my girlfriend until later, so I let them cool a little bit and stuck them in the fridge. Now, apart from it being Valentine's Day today, I feel like I need to ask you guys, how was your Thursday morning? How was yesterday morning? Because I know yesterday morning was quite a whirlwind. Yesterday was something else. Yeah, this was this morning. Technically, there was the third one, but I ate it. That was the third one. I ate it, and then I took a few bites out of this one to kind of show the cross section, the little bubbles that I was trying to achieve. And then that's when I was like, you know what? Let me take a photo before I consume all this. And yeah, obviously maple syrup and powdered sugar. In other instances, I would have sliced up a banana into coins and stacked that as like my topping, but we do have bananas right there. But my mom went and bought bananas, I think at Walmart, and she bought the ones that are just a little bit on the oversized side, and that's why I'm like, I'll probably just like cut half of this thing up. I don't know what I'm gonna do with the other half, and I didn't want to like waste a banana or waste opening one and then possibly either freezing it or putting it in the fridge. I'm like, I got lazy. I was like, and I'm hungry now. Instead of taking the extra step to slice up a banana, I'm like, you know what, just screw it. I'll just eat it like this without a topping. Just the syrup and the powdered sugar. So that's my solo Valentine's Day morning breakfast. But like I said, the spares, I made like, how many did I make? I made like 8? Maybe 9. Did I make 9? But yeah, I made a good amount. And like I said, I ate about almost 3. There was like, I started to get full by the end of the third one. So the last like bite or so I gave to my mom. So there's like 5 or 6 more that I went ahead and wrapped in some foil and stuck them in the fridge. And I'll be taking them to my girlfriend later. But apart from Valentine's Day, do you guys have any plans for Valentine's Day? And then my follow-up question is that for most of you who are collectors, how was your Thursday morning? How was yesterday morning? Initially, I was going to stream yesterday, but I ran out of time. B, I was a little groggy because of the early wake up to secure some of those pre-orders. And C, I just had some other stuff to do, which also kind of segues into today's stream possibly being a little bit on the shorter side than your typical average stream. So we'll see exactly how long this goes for. But not only is it going to be short because we're actually a little bit short on the topics to discuss this week. Because I gotta be honest, not a whole lot of stuff kind of broke. If I'm being perfectly frank with you guys, there really wasn't that much to really break down today. Like, I kept thinking back to like the last week. I'm like, in terms of, obviously we had stuff happening within the collecting community as far as McFarlane figures, Marvel Legends figures, but they were more like events that I'm obviously gonna start talking about right now. But in terms of like reveals, releases, like anything like new, it's like technically speaking, no. Technically not. Apart from, of course, like I said, the pre-orders that went live. Hot Toys did release a new Spider-Man, but I noticed over the course of time that strangely Hot Toys just does not do very well on the channel. And I get it because of the price. Typically Hot Toys figures going for either $250 or more. I noticed that whenever I post a review or any video that concerns with Hot Toys, it doesn't pull in as much engagement or attention as my typical videos with McFarlane or Marvel Legends, but that's because of the accessibility, which makes sense. There's a much taller and frankly kind of harsher barrier to entry for Hot Toys figures. Took me a while to get into Hot Toys figures, and even right now I'm kind of a little bit on the slow side. Kevbot, welcome. It went alright. I was able to pre-order the Buzzmod Ryoko Matoi figure. I gotta say, Buzzmod is taking on some cool IPs. Who is Buzzmod? BuzzFeed. That's the first thing I get. Buzzmod. Oh, that's amazing, Yamaguchi. Gotta be honest, I never heard of this company. But it looks like they're making Kimetsu no Yaiba. I have no fucking clue what this is. Ryuku Matoi, it's Kill la Kill. Okay, I have heard of Kill la Kill, I just don't know what it's about, but I know it's an anime. But I just never got into it. So yeah, I'll give it a few more. Ooh, Mortal Kombat. Did they drop a trailer for Mortal Kombat 2? Oh my god. It's some Fortnite shit. somebody tweeted, we finally got Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat in the same game, and it's via Fortnite, and it's just hold on, let me see if I can show you guys. It's just a gif of this guy face palming. Yeah, I think any crossover that people anticipate greatly, it's gonna be via Fortnite. It's not gonna happen anywhere else before GTA 6. How quickly is that meme gonna die as soon as GTA 6 actually does come out? They're pretty cool. They recently also announced Cyberpunk characters, aside from them making Gurren Lagann figures, Demon Slayer, and so on. Pretty neat 112 scale fair. The Cyberpunk figures that they announced, are those the ones for Edge Runner? Because I think I saw something about that. I think one of the accounts that I typically follow, like either, I can't remember if it was either Paternia or Toy Bro, that they posted something about that, like pre-orders going live or something. Also, my Mezco.cock came in. Super excited to sit down and open it tonight. The classic looking one, right? Yes, sir. Edge Runners. Then that's probably the tweet that I saw. That's probably what I saw. How many minutes has it been? It's been about 12. It's because my mom's in the garage, which means that she's about to walk in any second. And I'm just waiting for her to pass so that I can say my piece and be comfortable speaking. What else did I say I wanted to get done here? Supernova Moore, welcome to the stream. I think this is my first. Is this my first time seeing you in the chat? I just ordered that dog conk myself. I wasn't kidding when I said that after trying out Mezco for the first time with that Pattinson Batman, I got just a little. There's a part of me that kind of wants to try and get a second figure. But subconsciously, my experience with that first Mezco, which was for the Pattinson Batman, it did kind of, to a certain extent, taint my experience or my impression of Mezco. And I'm hoping I could be proven wrong. What's coming? Oh, actually, I probably should have put this in the keep. Thank you guys for reminding me. There actually is one reveal. And maybe we could tackle this now before I even forget, because something tells me that if I don't, I am gonna forget. Did I add it to my bookmarks? Let me check. I don't think I did. Son of a bitch. Let me see if I did. I did not. Okay, I think I found it. All right. Hopefully she'll. This is gonna sound messed up, but hopefully she'll stay in the kitchen now because she is making dinner. That's why. Not because she's my mom, but because she was making dinner before she went to the garage. Okay. So, Supernova, I am new. Yes, I am new here. Welcome. I'm hooked on Mesco. Yeah, I mean, ever so often I look at some of the classic stuff, and I think that that's probably their wheelhouse. And when it comes to like the more realist stuff, like the Pattinson Batman, that's probably where maybe I started off on the wrong foot with them. So maybe if I was to, because ever so often I look at that comic Spidey with like all the bonus accessories, but the one that's based on the classic 1960s comics, and I'm thinking to myself like that actually looks kind of like legit, a little better. I feel like I'll be more fond of that aesthetic. So far, I got the Wolverines, Fantastic Four, Popeyes, Casey Jones, and the new TMNT by Mezco. I just ordered all the retro Spider-Man figures. I've been collecting Mezco since 2020. My first figure was Popeye. What the hell's up with Popeye? I have learned through the years that if you're okay with a more aesthetic look of articulation, then you're set. Yeah, maybe that's also another thing that kind of didn't help. Some toys from them end up not being great, but looks-wise, it's usually a hit with them. Yeah, because with recently they had what was it called, Mesco Toys Fair. I think this was about 5 days or so ago, so it definitely happened in between this current stream right now and last stream. And during that Mesco Toys Fair, or whatever it is that you want to call it, not only did they have quite a few figures on display, some of which are either up for pre-order and are probably on the cusp of being released, like the Miles Morales from Across the Spider-Verse, and then others that have been already out for months, like Pattinson Batman. Most recently, the Doc Ock, like a lot of you guys are saying, are receiving in the mail. But then within that, they also had a handful of reveals with different properties. I think I saw like Nosferatu, I saw Lost Boys, I saw a couple of other things. I saw this like, I think it's an ant from them or like a creature or whatever. Some Exorcist stuff, even a lot of horror movie stuff. But of course, there's one property that toy companies are never, ever, 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 infinity, if any of you know what movie that's from, are ever going to let go is the Dark Knight. And it looks like Mezco is not going to oblige the haters or the people that are sick of the Dark Knight, and subsequently are going to keep that property going because they are giving us a 1/12th Heath Ledger Joker from Mezco Toys. Admittingly, though, I really wish we could see a little bit more of that stitching on the suit, because I feel like that could be a make or break for Mezco, since Mezco thrives on creating actual fabric cloth suits and costumes and clothing for their figures, or stitchings and the like. This head sculpt is actually not too bad. And I'm genuinely surprised that Mezco opted to give us a full look at the head sculpt. I feel like that's something that they probably would have like teased, but they just full on said, "Bam! Look, we're legitimately proud of this. That look at this, and it doesn't look too bad. It doesn't look super Heath Ledger like, but at the same time, when is Mezco is able to I mean, look at their Pattinson Batman, their unmasked one. But as far as like actual quality behind the way that the hair looks, the makeup smear, um, the emotion, the actual expression on the face. And granted, you'll see right here in the corner, pending licensor approval, prototype shown, final product may vary. Along with the card and a little bit of the sculpting around the hand. And then I think what's truly getting teased here is the actual suit. So you see that you have a little bit of that stitching happening with the hexagonal shirt underneath, the tie, and then you have a very woolly looking coat. And I feel like out of all these, characters that you have within Batman mythos, I think the Joker is one of the ones that a company like Mezco that has said, "Oh yeah, we do all these like felt goods on our figures and things like that." They cannot mess this up because this guy's legitimately covered by an overall 3-piece suit. I don't know, they bought it. As far as the head sculpt, like I said, maybe a little too aggressive to be Ledger's Joker, but in terms of the actual paint applications and actually getting the expression right, for a 1/12, that is really not bad. I will admit. So this is frankly a pretty good reveal, if I do say so myself, and I'm looking forward to seeing what more details come out of Mezco as we hopefully get more news about a final product actually being ironed down, and more details as far as the accessories. I'm expecting the usual accessories: a knife, more playing cards, the grenades that are then strung together so it can go inside the coat. Maybe that automatic rifle, semi-automatic rifle from the chase scene when the truck flips over. Maybe a pistol. Maybe a stack of cash, something like that. And then of course, well, I don't know how accurate it would be. Yo, Mezco, take my goddamn money if you manage to also throw in, because I love it when companies do this. I love it. I absolutely adore it. When they throw in an additional assortment of apparel accessories or items so that then you can swap the outfit for another, and now you practically have 2 figures in one. That's why I love that wrestler suit Spidey from the Toy Biz 2002 movie line. That's why when it comes to the higher caliber professional tier of collecting Hot Toys, one of my grails that I absolutely needed to get, and I probably will never part with, even now that we got a better Hot Toys of Heath Ledger Joker out there with the Artisan Joker. One of the holy grails that I was after for the longest time, and like I said, even though there's better figures since then, I don't think I'll ever part with this thing, is the Joker that you're able to swap for the Parade Joker, where he doesn't have the makeup, he's got the police officer uniform. I love it when they do that, where it's one body, but then they throw in the secondary outfit and you just have to do the swap yourself, because it's one of the reasons for why I love Transformer figures. You're technically getting like 3 figures in one. You get the robot, you get the vehicle, and then you even have a puzzle, like a Rubik's Cube. So you have 3 toys right there. And whenever a company is able to do that with action figures like that, Heath Ledger Joker from Hot Toys, where you're able to get both default Joker and the police officer Joker, you got 2. Granted, some collectors out there are going to be like, I want to display both. Then, I mean, I hate to say it, but you're kind of generating your own problem. Sorry. It would be sick. My original point was going to be, it would be sick if Mezco throws in at least the cheaper 3-piece suit and the mask from the bank heist at the beginning of the movie, that you're then able to swap for then the default purple 3-piece suit. Then for sure, regardless of that price, which is likely going to be a little bit above 100, like 105, 110, I might just say fuck it, and I'll actually legitimately put it down. What do you guys think about that idea? That's crazy. I wasn't planning on talking about that. Their new line of figures are coming with more articulation. I'm really looking forward to that Mezco. I did see that reveal as well, that they're doing a classic comic Hulk. Joker's over. I can see it. That's the thing. I love The Dark Knight. I love Heath Ledger's Joker. Even I have to admit that when somebody comes at me and says that they're sick of seeing, figures and collectibles and things coming out of that movie, and specifically that Joker, completely understand. I really do. I never fight anybody who says that. I'm like, as much as I love it, even I can see it, that they're like, that even I'm like, can we move on? Like, when it comes to in-art and Hot Toys, I really do think that they need to take a break. And just when I said that, there's rumors, they haven't confirmed it, but there's rumors going around that in-art is already working on a 2.0 for a 1/6 scale Joker. So from that, rooted hair one, that two-piece, that two-pack with the jail cell and all that stuff, they're already making a 2.0 out of that. Oh, that's the rumor, allegedly, supposedly. It's not confirmed, but there's at least there's been some rumors happening from behind the scenes that they're working on that, and I'm like, guys, can you not take a break? It's only been like what, 2-3 years since you at the very least revealed that initial rooted hair Joker from InArt. God damn. And there's even more rumors that on the more fixed side of things, you're gonna make a 1/12 tinier version. Like the tinier version, okay, I get, because there's a whole different demographic of people that like to collect in that scale. But at the same time, you're already working on a 2.0 for 1/6 already, when you've already filled in that gap. Like, take a break, guys. Definitely a decent reveal. I would say it's probably going to look like the final product. They usually don't change it up that much. Just be ready to potentially wait 3 years for the figure. Is that really their turnaround time? I don't know how I feel about that turnaround time, if I'm being honest. Pfft. Definitely done. Okay. That was the appetizer. It was kind of a bit of an unplanned appetizer because I completely forgot to put that in the keep. But thank you guys in the chat for reminding me about that Mezco reveal. But now on to the main course that could potentially get some people riled up. Because what have I been saying ever since the reveal of this Maximum Spider-Man from Marvel Legends? If they're being this cagey and tentative with the price, it means that they're up to something. And as time went on, I then created a new topic, which I brought up last week, which is that why is it costing them so much to reveal the price? And that's where I subscribe to the idea that I think we're deciding the price. I think they're legitimately, and I know this is going to sound a little bit tinfoily in the way that I kind of maybe phrase it or use certain words to kind of illustrate it, that they really are sending in, infiltrators into the influencer space. As far as the bigger influencers, truth be told, I don't really count myself into them. Like, when I think of Marvel Legends influencers, I think of Shardamus, I think of Robo Knows, I think is his name. I think of Anthony Customs. I never think of myself. I really don't think I'm that big, which is crazy because I think I got a comment not too long ago saying that I I got something wrong, which, if I'm wrong about something, that's okay. But then they went on to say that it's irresponsible for such a prominent influencer, and I'm like, first of all, I don't think I'm even that prominent of an influencer. I'm not. All right, I'm not. Again, I'm not Shartimus. I'm not some of these other folks that cover Marvel Legends, MCU collector. I'm not. Calm down. But then they used phrases like wielding power or spreading misinformation, and I'm like, why is it that I feel like you watch certain news networks? Like, what the hell's up with you? Like, come on. Anyways, moving on. I have made already a handful of videos covering the price and the value proposition of this Maximum Spidey. And after a while, it really did seem like this is probably going to be one of the most controversial Hasbro Marvel Legends releases in recent years. That's even the way that the collecting community talked about this figure is the same way the gaming community has been talking about Assassin's Creed Shadows, and the fucking game's not even out yet. In terms of like, is this gonna break the company? Is this, for lack of a better term, too woke? Is this, a disaster? Yeah. And I'm like, can it even come out yet? Like, I just want this thing to come out so that we can, I made my videos, but now I'm officially kind of ready to move on. I'm legitimately ready for this to be my last time talking about Maximum Spidey, because even I'm getting sick of it. The only reason for why I want to talk about it is because I also kind of want to imbue my experience of pre-ordering the figure yesterday. Yes, I did pre-order, but with some caveats. And also with some little details and things that I've kind of extrapolated that I think are pretty telling and pretty interesting to make an observation out of. Manuel, thank you. I think that's her name. Thank you for dropping by the stream. Because the Maximum Spidey finally went up for pre-order at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern on Thursday, February 13th, the day before Valentine's Day. So they knew, toy companies, not just Marvel Legends, but even McFarlane Toys themselves, knew that they needed to screw over those lucky few collectors that happen to have a significant other so that they can remember where they came from. And I don't really have like a quintessential page to look at and go, okay, yeah, this was the experience. But I'm going to toss it over to, of course, my man or person, not going to assume, but Paternia, whoever runs Paternia, the Paternia account over on Twitter/X, paternia.com. That was, of course, ever so reliable in monitoring the situation while the pre-orders went live at 10 a.m., at least 10 a.m. for me, 1 p.m. for people on the Eastern Seaboard. And so, as time went on, about 30 minutes after the pre-order went live, this very, encompassing tweet was posted with the box art. And then, of course, right here saying, Marvel Legends Maximum Spider-Man pre-order links still available at the time. So don't be checking these. Don't be like, oh my God. But he listed GameStop, he listed Big Bad Toy Store, he listed Hasbro Pulse. I'd say if you want to lock in soon, I haven't seen a response this big to a Marvel Legends pre-order. This is the reason for I wanted to show this. It's because it really has been a while in terms of the response. And to say that it's been divisive, I think is putting it mildly. Because a couple days leading up to this pre-order going live, Hasbro themselves confirmed almost at the 11th hour that this figure was going to be priced at $50. And they did so, but here's the thing. They confirmed it, but not via a tweet, a statement, an Instagram story, and hell, Dan Yun, the outspoken Marvel Legends representative, one of the more outspoken ones, he himself, made that tweet saying that I don't like to talk about pricing here. You guys will see it when the page goes up. And at the time, I was still thinking to myself, why are you hiding it? And you guys are supposed to be like the cartilage that connects the big head corporates over there at Hasbro and us. So it's little moments like that make it very easy for people like me to kind of poke fun of you guys with some of those edits and kind of talk shit about you guys, because sometimes it almost feels like you guys don't want to defend yourselves. And I get it, you guys have a job, you guys don't want to lose that job, but I would love to see at least an effort in kind of creating a dialogue, because that's how relationships get stronger. You're supposed to, and I should probably be taking my own advice here, but I'm kind of, throwing in a little bit of my take, and then also what I've heard people like my girlfriend, for example, say is that sometimes relationships, whether they are business, friendships, significant others, intimate, they always need that constant level of work. And I feel like the Hasbro guys never have, for a little while, haven't been putting in that work to cultivate a better relationship, so that they can get that information and then throw it over to us, saying, hey, it's gonna be $50, it's gonna be available here, it's gonna do this, this, and that, and be a bit more transparent. I don't feel like they've been doing that kind of work. And as a result of that, Hasbro confirmed the $50 price tag via a response to comments in the comment section of their Instagram post. So they didn't make a statement, they didn't make a tweet, they didn't do anything like that. It's literally like you have to look for it. You have to click on the replies, and then there's Hasbro saying $50 and running. And I'm over here like, really, dude? Big bad corporation Hasbro, and you just have to like drop that grenade and run? Is $50 the best price? No. I said in that video, a couple videos prior, I really would have preferred 40. 45 stings a little bit, but I would have accepted. 50 is now pushing it. But again, I'm a content creator. I know that this guy is going to be probably one of the more talked about reviews once the figure starts rolling out in terms of shipments. And I can't help but just say it could have been worse. It could have been 55 or hell, even 60, which it might even be already 60 in some other areas of the world. In terms of like Mexico, South America, once you translate the money, or convert rather, you account for inflation, you do all those things, and then after a while you're like, yeah, for them it's 60, so maybe we're probably, or even up in Canada. So maybe we're getting a little bit of the better end of the stick. But perhaps, maybe, there could be some light at the end of the tunnel. Or there could be at least hope for the community just yet. Because I too was navigating these pre-order pages from the different fan channels, the different outlets. And I realized something quite telling, which is that you had obviously pages go up for Big Bad Toy Store, Entertainment Earth, and Amazon. And then, of course, the most native one, Hasbro Pulse themselves, their official Hasbro Pulse page. Out of all of them, let me see which one to go to first. Let me start off by the typical fan channels. When you think of Marvel Legends and even McFarlane Toys and pre-orders going live, you think of the usual suspects, right? Big Bad Toy Store. Right now, it is now finally sold out. But notice what I just said. It is now finally sold out. That's because I was periodically throughout the day and even going into the evening checking the Big Bad Toy Store page, and it was actually still up. It was still up. It was actually this morning that I got kind of curious while I was flipping my pancakes, because you have to wait 2 to 3 minutes in between each flip. So I thought, what do I do here on my phone? And then I got curious and I was like, is it sold out yet? And finally today, it got sold out. A full 24 hours later, maybe even a little bit more, 25, 26 hours later. Huh. All throughout yesterday, it was readily available. Even last night I checked. And when I say last night, I mean late last night. I go to sleep late, or at least for the time being. I think starting next week I might be going to bed quite earlier. But, we're talking 2:30 in the morning. I, for shits and giggles, checked the Big Bad Toy Store page. Still up. You know who else also still had it up? Entertainment Earth, which is also now sold out 24 hours later. So now they're finally sold out. But yesterday, that green button was still there. Well into the night. And I'm over here thinking, that's curious. Like I said, that's a very funny observation. Now, and then if you want to push it even a little further, right now, this is also available, and I should probably pull this other one up. Hold on. Because there's actually another outlet that is selling the Maximum Spidey, and it's probably one of the more unlikely outlets for Marvel Legends. McFarlane toys are sold at this place, but Marvel Legends is genuinely surprising. But if you happen to be a bit of a gamer, guess who still has pre-order available? Best Buy. Best Buy has it available for pre-order. Shipping only, no pickup. But, blam. Still available for pre-order. GameStop. Still available for pre-order. Again, no pickup, but shipping. And, depending on what your circumstances are, if you have an account, if you have free shipping available, if you have a code, whatever, you might have to pay for the shipping and taxes. So this might balloon up to like somewhere closer to about $60. But GameStop and Best Buy, still available. As of right now. Actually, GameStop, let me refresh. Yep. Still available. That is nuts. That's, again, pretty interesting considering that this was one of the more talked about Marvel Legends now for the past month, I almost want to say, since it was first revealed. Now, were there any, again, these outlets that I just showed are either still available or were available for a really unlikely amount of time before they finally did sell out, at least, like I said, 24 hours later. Now let's cover who did sell out almost immediately. I think one of the more obvious ones would have to be, let me cover this up because it's kind of showing my zip code. I think one of the ones that I was full on expecting to sell out immediately because of the convenience, because of the free shipping, because almost everybody has Prime, is of course Amazon. And I'm so glad that this is actually one of the places that I did put down a pre-order for, because A, they don't charge until it ships, which won't be until April, or maybe the end of March, beginnings of April, somewhere around there. But it's Prime, so you're talking 2 days, and you also have the option, depending on what your status of your Prime account is, you also have the option to either change addresses or ship it to a place that has Amazon pickup. So you can pick it up from the locker, and you don't have to worry about it being stolen, and it's secure. And knowing that ahead of time, I knew that this was going to be one of the pages that's going to sell out almost immediately. So as soon as this pre-order went live, I was like, Amazon, go to Amazon. And I locked down a pre-order. And this one for sure within, I want to say about 20-ish, 30-ish minutes, because that was around the time that I was going to wake up anyway. So I stayed awake. Amazon did in fact sell out almost, like I said, within about 20-30 minutes. It was completely sold out. So I was super glad that I put that pre-order when I had the chance. So, but this one goes without saying because it's Amazon, like I said, and you also have the return policy. Although I hear that they're kind of changing things with the return policy to combat people opening things and returning the wrong thing, figure swapping, etc. But there's a flexibility. There's a level of flexibility with the return policy, the exchange policy. Again, the convenience of shipping, Prime, all that stuff. I'm like, yeah, it totally makes sense. So that's not the one that I feel is like that has like a telling nature to it. You know which one did make me look at it and go, huh, look at this? Is Hasbro themselves. As of now, the Hasbro Pulse page for Maximum Spidey does list it as sold out. And Amazon, I almost don't count because it's Amazon. People could have pre-ordered it and then ordered, their groceries or whatever it is that they needed from Prime, and against the convenience of the orders and whatnot. So removing Amazon from the equation and just strictly talking about channels that deal with just toys. So in terms of Marvel Legends, so let's cover Hasbro, Pulse, Big Bad Toy Store, Entertainment Earth. Those three, the Holy Trinity. I'm not going to count Best Buy and GameStop because people weren't really expecting them to have listings, even though they have them up, and for good reason. Now they're still available. So let's talk about those three that we're going to go almost immediately. Like I said, it took a while for Big Bad Toy Store and Entertainment Earth to sell out, almost into the next day, almost a full 24 hours later. Hasbro, however, I think just a little bit after Amazon, they too sold out. But again, the amount of time it took for those other two channels, and then we still are dealing with those two unlikely ones, which are Best Buy and GameStop, still having the option of pre-order. You would think that it would have gone quicker, but out of all of them, the only two that went incredibly quick, and one of them, like I said, I almost don't want to count, is Amazon because of, like I said, Prime and the return policy. Hasbro Pulse, I don't think has that lenient of a return policy. It doesn't have the flexibility for shipping. You either have one address or the other, and you can't do pickup. You can't change certain things after the order's confirmed. I think they charge you right away, so it's you have to have the money ready. So that means that there was just enough amount of people that were willing to already shell out $50, or I think somewhere close to about $60, because you're counting I think $6 for shipping, and then the taxes, it just got rounded on over to $60. But then, not only do you have the big fat sold out badge right here, right? Right above it, you have 20, I don't know if it's being review bombed or what, but right above it, you have a 23 review overall star rating of 1.5 stars. Can I blow this up? Kinda. Look at that. What is this? How can you do this? And I'm telling you right now, I did not pre-order through Hasbro. The pre-orders I put down were strictly the ones that I knew weren't going to charge me until it ships later, either in April or in May, which are, did I say March earlier? I'm sorry, I meant to say late April, early May. And the pre-orders that I put down were, again, Amazon, Entertainment Earth, and Big Bad Toy Store. Because, again, they're not going to charge me until it ships later, and I have plenty of time to decide which one's going to come out first, which one I'm going to keep, yada. What are these 23 reviews? Okay. It's not out. What? Guys, to use a term by the almighty Rat King, Asmongold, these are certified dick eaters. Because it's one thing to put down the pre-order and then just let it go and see what happens later on. But to take it the extra mile, and then look at the username, Maximum R. It's probably someone who just created their account. I don't know. I don't know if they're trolling. We can't really take any of this seriously. But then right below it, who's to say that some of these people even pre-ordered? Yeah, a lot of people don't like the cracked out Peter Parker head sculpt. $50, are you kidding me? Yeah, and that's the thing. One can't correlate the other. That I will admit to that. That maybe some of these reviews don't equal to a pre-order. They shouldn't allow five per person. I did see that. I was like, why 5 per person? That's fucking ridiculous. Like somebody else in the chat said that they bought 6. How do you sell out of a pre-order? You only have a certain amount. That makes sense. You should not post that review. Pre-orders sell out all the time. You're not SH guys, SH Figure Arts. And I think I saw somebody else say something about Mayfix. Where is it? Right here. Might as well go to Mayfix. I'm not wrong. I did say this a couple videos back. Just simply the greatest action figure, greatest Spider-Man figure of all time. Daggerheart Noir. Yeah, I don't know what is going on. But this is, again, this is the observation that I said to myself. This is incredibly telling. That Hasbro sells out quickly, but then you have people review bombing it. And this is going to be the one that's going to be attracting this level of divisiveness. Meanwhile, it still took a while for Big Bad Toy Store and Entertainment Earth to sell out. I was expecting this and Amazon to go first, and then literally about 30 minutes later, Big Bad Toy Store and Entertainment Earth. But again, last night, BBTS and Entertainment Earth still had pre-orders available. And I'm like, hopefully this means that there's hope for this community to actually continue to vote with their wallets. In terms of how they speak. And hopefully Hasbro is doing something to observe the speed. Granted, I think those other, to be completely fair and also not be as naive, I'm not sure they're looking too much at how fast things sell out on sites that are not Hasbro. Because obviously with them, they have to share some of that income, some of that revenue, because they're third-party sites. They have to split it. This is their own site. I'm pretty certain that out of all the places that this figure was available at, this is the one that they're looking at and going, we sold out. So $50 is how much you guys are willing to pay, right? All right. Duly noted. So get ready for 50. Maybe in some time. 60. 70. Or bots, maybe. Yeah, that could be a possibility. And yeah, Joshua, I would welcome you to the stream, but seriously, you have to explain yourself. Why did you get 6? Yeah, Manuel, what you said, I think it's fine. They want to make more premium figures, but the engineering needs to be actually premium to charge prices. That's the thing, is that it's going to be very difficult to show off on camera, maybe. But say, for example, this Maximum Spidey comes out. I get it. I let one of my pre-orders go through. It comes in. I receive it. I unbox it. And when I hold it in hand, it has the fluidity and the quality and the weightiness of, say, Figure Arts or Mafex. I'll be like, you know what, guys? I know that you're going to not see this on camera. You're just going to have to take my word for it. But the articulation actually feels, it doesn't feel cheap. It feels smooth, solid, weighty, very quality, that I'm like, 50, I can kind of see it. You know what I mean? Like, it'll be something that you just won't be able to see. You'll just have to feel by buying one. But at least, if you guys want to take my word for whatever you consider it to be, I'll say it. I'll be like, yeah, this is actually quality. If it still feels like your typical Marvel Legends and it's simply just the amount of accessories, I will still say, no, this could have been 40 or 45. So I would tell people, if you have some kind of gift card, some kind of offer code to get a discount on it, definitely you could still use it on Maximum Spidey. But we'll see if that goes down on what is it, May, late April, early May. They say May, but when it comes to like these toy companies, sometimes they could release a little sooner. So, and by sooner I mean like a couple weeks. We're talking weeks. Well, days to maybe a week or two, but that's it. I'll stick with my Mafex Classic Spidey. About the latest version of that, which was like $60 or so for a more basic model. It's a cool figure, and I might pick it up, but the only thing is that I was in a review. Yeah, Renew Your Vows is like getting scalped to all hell on eBay. I saw a photo. I lost it. I don't know where it went, because it was on a Facebook group. So I have no clue where it went. Or was it Reddit? I think it was on Reddit. That somebody posted the listings of the Renew Your Vows Spidey, and all the scalpers are now marking it up to like $100. I'm like, go fuck yourself, dude. Oh my god, this hobby. Wonder if they'll drop the 4+. Down Von Doom, welcome to the stream. But what do you mean by that? Like the age? No, because even though the only way they'll do that is if they include some kind of accessory that is like, with the age group. But they don't mind doing that because it's Spider-Man. It's colorful. Nothing, about the accessories or what I saw there on the side indicates that it needs to be for like a higher age group. even if it means that the majority of the people who bought this are adults. I guess that's probably the next conversation to have about Maximum Spidey. That right now we don't really have any kind of. Well, actually, I guess I take it back because I feel like maybe the fact that this figure is now available for pre order on Best Buy and GameStop means that maybe it has the chance of actually making it to brick and mortar stores, because it is kind of interesting that we didn't have any pre-orders go live for either a Walmart page or a Target page. So, do you guys think that it'll show up? Johnny Shen, welcome to the stream. Do you guys think it'll show up in Targets and Walmarts? The only remaining, brick and mortar stores that people do their hunting? Speaking of hunting and going to targets and tracking stuff down, actually, hold on, before we segue that, because that's actually a really perfect segue. But two things. One, I need to wash my coffee cup before it gets any later. Let me give myself a little bit of a break to breathe, and also get myself some water because my bottle is in the fridge, nice and cold. So I will be right back, guys. Talk to the chair. Maurice Phillip, welcome. I doubt it. They want to make sure Maximum Spade doesn't make it to Ross, Ollie's, and other discount stores. They're trying to make up for that Eternals wave. They're trying to make up for those dividends because that Eternals wave, I think, hurt them really bad. But yeah, I'll be right back, guys. Talk to the chair in the meantime. I'm back. My local Ollie's was packed with Star Wars Black Series Archive. What's Archive? And then Eternal Wakanda Forever. Yeah, those were the two. That, and I think for a little while, but it quickly dissipated, was Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. They made way too many of those. Eternals wave was due to overproduction, not particularly popular movie, and crap distribution. Yeah, it's so many factors just did not work in the favor of that one. People were barely going back to the theater because of COVID. When did Eternals come out? 2021, yeah. Like the year after COVID. That's why it's in that weird area where some stuff was starting to relax, but it was still not as great as it was now. Like, this was the same year that Suicide Squad came out, and I remember like the Snyder heads and all those fuckers were saying, "Oh, see, it bombed," and I'm like, you guys don't remember that in 2021 COVID was still kind of rippling throughout the country in terms of like movie theater experiences, to the point where Warner Brothers was releasing movies both in the theater and on Max. At the time, it was called HBO Max, and Suicide Squad was one of those movies. So people were like, "Oh, we could just watch that on, we could just watch it online." And I was one of the few that actually said, "This feels like it needs to be seen in theaters. I really don't want to see it on Max, even though I have a subscription." I saw it in theater, loved it, and then after the fact, I was like, "Let me go watch it on Max a second time. That'll be good." And yeah, so yeah, there were a lot of things working against that movie and against the Marvel Legends figures, that they were just all over the place, to the point where I think there's some people still reporting finding Marvel Legends Eternals figures at like their local Walmart, buried somewhere in, and they're still marked for clearance. And I'm like, why is this still here? Endu, welcome. When do you think they will restock? Did Dan post anything about that? Because I honestly don't think that they will. Or if they do, it'll be after the release, after May, sometime in the summer, if I had to completely hypothesize. But again, I personally kind of doubt it. But let me see, did Dan even bother saying, "Oh yeah, we'll restock later"? Yeah, I stopped following him because after a while he just started tweeting out a bunch of like sports and bullshit. Just retweeting Hasbro Pulse's thingy, trying to defend Captain America Brave New World because he made figures for it. Like, come on. It sounds nothing but just coping, posting a tweet saying, "The tomato meter's not always correct." Just stay silent. Just stay quiet, man. Come on. Wow, and then underneath it, I saw another tweet from Dan that was admittedly just worded really wrong, but it just made him look kind of bad. I'm telling you, out of the three guys, Dan is the one that I look at and go, I don't have a good feeling about you. I really don't. I never had a good feeling about Dan. And that continues. Nothing has changed. I just have this weird feeling about him. Every time he shows up at the Pulse streams, and now looking through his Twitter feed, I'm like, yeah, that's still there. That feeling is still there. Well, Endu, I just got done saying that you said I was gonna buy it on Big Bad Toy Store, but it was just too late. Did you wait until today? Cause they were available. Big Bad Toy Store for sure was available almost all day yesterday. Finally, this morning I saw that it was sold out. Entertainment Earth was going in and out. I think there were a couple of moments where they did sell out, but then almost within a few minutes, it's like some people probably got buyer's remorse and canceled, and then accounts like Toy Beats on X and Toy Bro and a couple of others in Paternia were like, hey, I think it's back up on Entertainment Earth, and they reposted it. And I think only about once, maybe twice, it came back on Amazon. But Amazon was one of the quicker ones to sell out immediately. And like I mentioned during that segment, because of the flexibility with Prime, free shipping, return, as long as the circumstances are met, the return policy is a bit more lax. So yeah, I mean, did you wait until today? Were you waiting to get paid? Because that's one thing, I will admit, a lot of people were waiting until today to get paid. So the fact that it went up for pre-order yesterday, I'm like... But at the same time, Big Red Toy Store doesn't charge you until it ships. So, yeah, were you busy yesterday? Because you know what I've been busy doing? Hunting down these McFarlane Batman Begins figures. This new Batman Begins wave that is a little bit on the frustrating side. Because while we're on the subject of trying to figure out whether or not Maximum Spidey is going to show up in brick and mortar stores like Target, you know what has been showing up at Target? Batman Begins Batman, Demon Batman, Scarecrow, and even that 89 Keaton solo Batman release by McFarlane Toys, which were completely, utterly shadow dropped by McFarlane, seemingly out of nowhere, and potentially intentional to again feed a little bit of that collectability, probably going for the opposite side of the approach that Hasbro does with Marvel Legends, as far as having to be there online, having to be there on the page, hitting that pre-order, whatever. McFarlane then goes on the other end and says, get your ass up, pay for that gas, and head to your nearest store and get those steps in, which admittedly does have its healthy benefits as far as getting your steps in, make sure you're stretching your legs, making sure you're keeping blood clots away, in my case, because sometimes I feel like I'm too skinny that eventually some stuff is going to start happening here towards the legs. That's why every so often when I get the chance, I'll stretch and start working out my legs. But right almost like days after that last McFarlane Toy Show episode, which was episode 2, the one that I will go as far as to say was not the greatest, had its major problems as far as that draft taking on way too much, the reveals not being all that great, personally. Even with one of them going live the same morning as the Maximum Spidey, which was the year 2 Batman set with the extra cape, which, if I'm not mistaken, is actually also still available on Big Bad Toy Store. This guy right here. And I did pre-order it because I never got the original, but also I want to cover it in a video. But it's still available, which means that a lot of people are either not interested or already have the original blue and gray. So this one with the accents is probably not their cup of tea, but I understand it. I like the color scheming, but again, the main drive that made me want to pre-order this is knowing that I don't have the original version. And funny enough, it's priced at the same as the Maximum Spidey. So I guess this is almost warranting its own debate or its own topic in and of itself, is that both this and Maximum Spidey were $50. Which one do you feel was worth it? This set or Maximum Spidey? One thing to keep in mind though is that technically this guy is a re-release. So I hate to say it, but I feel like maybe, just maybe, Maximum Spidey might take the crown on this one. But ultimately, the quality of the figures, once we unbox them and have them in hand, will speak for that and decide that. But that's not what we're here to talk about. What we're here to talk about, however, is that Batman Begins wave. Which, since McFarlane, again, went ahead and released in store And it was downright frustrating because a lot of people were just wondering, like, okay, these things were just shown at the episode for the McFarlane Toy Show on the first one back in December. They kind of reiterated and then even showed it at some events like Geek Out recently in Southern California. And so we were thinking, okay, so eventually we're probably going to wake up to a social media post saying pre-orders are going to go live, yada, yada, yada. And then I think it was just a couple of days after that second episode of the McFarlane Toy Show that people then went to Twitter and Facebook and said, yo, look what I just found. And it was all four stacked up in the Target aisles. Out of so far, the most common brick and mortar store was Target. Didn't see anybody say anything about Walmart. And it's funny because around this time, I even got a comment on one of my videos. I think it was when I was talking about the Batman Begins figure from when it was shown at Geeking Out, that someone posted a comment saying, well, they're already being found at Targets, and I asked them for a source. He never responded. But I thought it was just the guy trolling. Maybe I can't take his word at, for sure. But it was within 24 hours that I finally saw someone post on Reddit saying, hey, and showed the photo. And once again, to my dismay and frustration and chagrin, they said that they found them at a Southern California Target. They didn't say specifically which town. They didn't say where in Southern California, because a lot of you have to remember that Southern California overall is a really big fucking state. So maybe get a little bit more specific. We're not asking for specific addresses. We don't want you to dox yourself or anything like that. But, a little bit more of a narrower kind of piece of information would have sufficed. But they did say SoCal. And that was enough for me to be like, the hunt is on. And that first, 2 or 3 days, didn't really see much happening. Not much activity. Nothing to really give me an incentive to pursue. That I'm like, maybe I should just wait off and focus on Power Girl, focus on the figures that I have here in my room to cover the reviews on. But then I went to to a Target that I had already gone a couple days prior. I think it was on Tuesday. Was it either Monday or Tuesday? And I didn't see on the shelf any of the figures, the McFarlane Batman figures. But what I did see that made me go, hold up, this is new, was that 1/6 scale Thor pre-posed figure, aka statue. The comic one, the one where it looks like he's swinging the hammer. And my spidey sense tingled because I was over here thinking, that's new. Not only is it new because it's my first time seeing it on the shelf, but I could have sworn this, along with a couple of other of those statues like the Daredevil 1/10 scale, and then the Batman Begins stuff, I think is all part of that same kind of assortment, that same box. And so I got to thinking, and I'm like, I don't want to do this, but I do have the UPC codes because thankfully that first batch of photos that went live from some people finding it in SoCal, thankfully in the comment section, not in the original post, but in the comment section, the original poster, the OP, did post photos of the barcodes. I saved them to my phone. And seeing that Thor statue was enough for me to go, I typically don't like doing this because I've worked in retail. I don't want to be a burden, but it's nagging on me. I'm going to resent myself if I walk out of here without doing this. Waved an employee down. Asked him, hey, can you check this barcode? Which apparently the barcode applies to all 4 figures. So whichever one he pulls out from the back could be any. He scans the code. And he's like, let me go to the back and double check. Whenever they say that, okay, I'll wait. He comes back and says, this is all I could find back there. he brought out the 89 Keaton solo release. And I just looked at him dead in the face and said, "Are you sure this is all you have?" And he's like, "Well, there's 3 others over there, but they're the same one, same as that one. You know, they're the same." And I didn't want to be too much of a bother. And I said, "Okay, yeah, thank you." And so I walked out with it. 89 Keaton Batman solo release with the cape extenders. Look out for the review, which has already been filmed. I just have to edit it. Because yesterday my mom had a immunotherapy session. So she left. I was at home for like 2 hours by myself, and I was like, "We got to do this." And so yesterday I filmed this review and a handful of others that I'm about to show right now. But he had this. Now, as I'm driving away, an idea popped into my head, and I was like, shit. I really wish I could stop overthinking. He said that there were 3 others in the back that were just like that. However, for those of you who hunt, who you've been hunting recently, you've been going to brick and mortar stores, and furthermore, you're of either my age or a little older. I'm 33, gonna be 34 this year. If you're either my age or a little older, and were born either in the late 80s, early 90s, and you walk into a Target, you'll notice that the majority of Target employees, they look a little younger. A little too young, if you ask me. Where they're trying to bring 90s outfits back for some fucking reason. But furthermore, again, this is going to sound a little judgmental, but I looked at this guy and said he fit the optimum criteria to be the kind of guy that's probably either just got out of high school, or maybe he's in his early 20s, needed a part-time job, scanned the barcode, went back there, grabbed one of these guys and gave it to me. And the best way I can sum it up, he looked like the type of guy who knows who Batman is. He does. But he doesn't know which Batman is which. Does that make sense? So I'm over here thinking, for a while I was happy. I was like, oh, cool, I got 89 Keaton Batman, so now I have to track down the other 3. And then I thought about what he said, that there were 3 others back there that looked just like this guy. But again, he looked like a young kid who's not into Batman, who's not into comics, but has heard of Batman at some point growing up as a kid in Southern California or whatever, but doesn't fully, know. And who's to say that the other Batman figures were back there, but to this guy, they all look the same. And that thought hit me, and I was like, son of a bitch. What are the chances that the other Batman that were back there are the Begins Batman, but he doesn't know the difference? To him, they're all Batman, but he doesn't know what Bale Batman looks like versus Keaton Batman, etc. I'm sorry. He legit looked like he didn't know. And that's why I was like, the hunt needs to continue. So I went to one other Target that same day. It was actually going to be the last Target, because at this point I had already gone to like 2 others. And at this Target, I did the same thing. And the employee brings out the red platinum, I guess we're calling it now, the red platinum sticker Scarecrow of the new Batman Begins. But that's it. And she said that it was the only one that was back there. This was a girl. Again, looked a little young. She said that this was the only thing back there. Who knows? And that was it for, I think, Tuesday. It was then on Wednesday that I decided to... Was it Wednesday? No, I'm sorry. This was Monday. And then it was on... and then I think that same Monday... And this was the second Target. So then I went to a third Target. And then at this third Target, they said that they had like 6. But then the guy who scanned the code and went back there said that he couldn't find the 6. And in my head, I'm thinking, how can you misplace 6? And before I could, I said anything or made a commentary or anything like that, which I wasn't going to be rude, because this guy was actually really cool. His name was Richard. I memorized his name off his name tag. He was awesome. He, pulled out the code on the tab and showed the locations, and then went as far as to say, give me the phone number to call that store and to call other stores. And he told me that there's a chance that 6 was on like a truck in the back, and it just hasn't been unloaded. It's been received, but it hasn't been unloaded, and we can't touch that. The overnight crew that come in at like 12 or 1 o'clock in the morning are the ones that do that, because they're like the big guys that are like tearing things apart and then throwing it on the floor, and then the regular employees grab that stuff on the floor and then start putting it up on the pegs and doing this and that. So I was like, okay, cool. But this guy was really cool. Like I said, that's why I for sure wanted to treat him kindly, because he went above and beyond for me. As well as this other woman whose name I didn't get, but I remember her. She was like a middle-aged Middle Eastern woman. She had like an accent, but she did the same thing. She like looked up the code, showed the inventory in different stores in my surrounding area. She, like I said, she was doing the extra stuff of like giving me information. Unlike the other, like I said, Gen Z TikTok kids that were just doing the bare minimum. I'm like, thank you. So I called it that day, and then it was on Tuesday, and I remember it was Tuesday because I was, needed to do my quick hunt before going over to my girlfriend's for dinner. I went to, again, these 3 targets one more time, thinking, all right, what's going to happen here? First target, nothing. First target, nothing. They said that, doesn't show anything in the back, even though it says that they have 3. So someone's lying to me. Someone's not doing their job. But the second target, the Batman Begins default. Batman Begins, Bale Batman. Right there. At that second target on the second day. And along with him, I got a case of water because I'm out of water. Well, at the time I was out of water. Now I'm good. But at the time I needed water. So, bam. Bale Batman. So I'm over here thinking, well, 3 down, and now I need to track down the one that is arguably going to be the toughest to track down, which is going to be the gold label Target exclusive Batman. That's going to give it a bit more scarcity, and I'm like, oh my god, this guy's going to be a nightmare to find. But we got the majority. We have at least enough to create some content and cover on the channel and all that. And I was quickly running out of time because my girlfriend was finalizing dinner, and I'm like, all right, I got one more target to sneak in. This is it for all the marvels. Not marvels, marbles. I go to this last target, show her the code. She says, oh, it shows that we have some in the back, but I don't know if we received it. Let me go check. And she goes and checks. And thankfully, this girl was nice. She did look a little Gen Z-ish, but at the same time, courteous. So I was like, all right, she's treating me well. I'll treat her well. And as a customer, I wait. Getting a little long, and I'm running out of time because I need to go over to my girlfriend's at a certain time before her family. Basically, her living with her family, and when it comes to like dinner, there's that like hierarchy of who eats first type of thing, to where if I don't eat at a certain time, I have to wait for her like parents to eat, and then we can eat at the table because there's only so much space. So time was of the essence. And then finally she walks out, and she's got 3 boxes of the McFarlane boxes. And it was literally, once again, Batman Begins Batman, Scarecrow. And then that third box, I was like, no fucking way. I felt like I could just take a dump of relaxation, because that third box that she had in her hand was the Demon Batman. That was it. That was it. Demon Bats from Batman Begins. And this was all enough in terms of pricing. This all amounted, the grand total amounted enough for me to be like, you know what? Here's what I'm going to do. Now, with these 3 that she brought out, I technically have duplicates of Scarecrow and Batman Begins because I got them at those other stores by themselves. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take these 3 with me right now. I'm going to do one of those like pay in 4 orders where you do like payments. You split up the purchase in like 4 payments so it doesn't hurt all at once. And then the ones that I got by themselves, which is the Batman Begins, and which are in my car actually, still sealed, and the Scarecrow, I'm going to go and return. That way that money can come back. The only one that I didn't get a duplicate of, but I don't care, it's already unboxed, so I'm fine with it, is the 89 Keaton. So, and right on time too, because I went, checked out, drove as quickly as I could without being a dick over to my girlfriend's. We had dinner, and the hunt was over, and it was literally that same day as well that I picked up my Power Girl order for the McFarlane Collector's Edition Power Girl. So as of right now, I'm caught up. Now it's just a matter of getting reviews done. But the hunt was successfully completed on Tuesday. I was like, oh. And like I said, the only thing I have yet to do now is actually the opposite. I need to return some figures. I need to return the duplicate Begins Batman and the duplicate Scarecrow. So I'm over here thinking, all right, yeah, that was exhausting, but it bared fruit. It was a cool story to tell that I was waiting to tell on stream. Awesome. And then McFarlane, the motherfucker, decides that following Wednesday, the 12th, at 7:01 a.m., to then reveal that pre-orders are gonna go live for the Batman Begins, Batman, and the Keaton online retailers. Just when I finished my fucking hunt. Okay. Alright. Well, at least, in terms of time, and giving me a little bit of that benefit to get these reviews, because I know that some more people already posted the reviews, and it's not a race. For some it is. I have some person in mind right here who loves to get the reviews out as soon as possible because clicks. Big Bad Toy Store, guys. Big Bad Toy Store. Entertainment Earth. Use the links. Shut the fuck up. I can at least get a jump on the reviews as far as how I like to film them, the B-roll, the editing, the the lighting within the light box, etc. So at least I get that advantage. But I would be lying just a smidge in saying that it didn't sting a little bit to know that the day after I finally completed my hunt, McFarlane then reveals that the Batman Begins figures are going up for pre-order on February 21st. A week from today, actually. February 21st will be available to online to order. And notice that the terminology that they used in their tweet. As seen on the McFarlane Toy Show, Batman based on the Batman Begins film will be available online to order. They don't say pre-order. They say order because they knew they have done goofed. I don't know. Again, I don't know if there's no confirmation as to whether or not these figures coming out at Target so soon was legit, or if maybe Todd intended it, but he did it kind of like without maybe notifying his team. I don't know. But something was aloof. And again, it says right here, will be available online to order February 21st at select retailers. And again, the lack of pre in front of that order is what tells me they know. They're not dumb. They're not, unbeknownst to the fact that these guys are already out in the wild. And the fact that they termed the tweet like that, it almost kind of fully convinces me that this was intentional to, again, breed a little bit of that collectivity of hunting down these figures. And admittedly, that's not something very frequently found within the toy community these days. So, I guess I still want to give McFarlane a little bit of props for keeping that hobby alive. But I also do think that there is a level of communication and transparency that still needs to be done. And frankly, I will say, as far as on both companies' parts, as far as both McFarlane and Marvel Legends, there needs to be transparency. With Marvel Legends, it's stemming from the corporate side of things, and then with McFarlane, it's a little bit of stubbornness, a little bit of like, okay, yeah, you want to keep that collectivity in mind, but maybe going on not the McFarlane Toys account, but maybe on your own personal account, because he has his own personal social media accounts on Twitter and on Instagram. Maybe posting a story, not even a full post, but like a story saying, "Hey guys, Todd McFarlane here. I was just recently at Target, getting eggs, because I can afford to get eggs at Target because I'm Todd McFarlane. Todd rhymes with God. But when I was kind of going through the toy aisle, I was seeing some things. I was seeing some things that were kind of interesting, and I saw this new Batman figure. It looks like it's based on a movie that's coming out that came out almost exactly 20 years ago. Yeah, celebrating its 20th anniversary, and if anything, maybe you guys should be checking out your targets. Checking out, going down the shelves and scoping this guy out, especially since one of them looks to be a gold label exclusive for Target. You can only find it at the Targets. I feel like Target should be like your Target. If anything, you might be walking out with a bullseye. Huh. Some kind of Instagram story, anything like that. Could have gone a long way. That's all we're asking. You don't have to put out like an official trademark statement on the McFarlane Toys official Instagram or Twitter. But that's just my take. And so, like I said, that was pretty much my saga this week of tracking down these figures, speed walking through the toy aisles in Target, and then finally on Tuesday, I was able to find the remaining 3, put a pay in 4 order for them. Like I said, the only thing left to do is to return the duplicates that I got, and we'll be squared away. But it was just so almost cartoonishly ironic that the next day McFarlane says, "Oh yeah, we're gonna put up online orders on select retailers, probably including the McFarlane McFarlane Toys store site, the 21st, a week from today." And I'm like, you son of a bitch. But again, it's not like I'm walking away empty-handed, because part of this hunt was a figure that will not be going up for order, which is going to be the Demon Batman. This is a Target exclusive. So there's not going to be a pre-order page for this. There's not going to be an Amazon listing. There's not going to be a Big Bad Toy Store listing, or even on McFarlane. Actually, I take it back. I was going to say not on the McFarlane Toy Store, but at the same time, there's been cases recently where McFarlane takes what was originally a Walmart exclusive or a Target exclusive, and then after like a month or two, he puts it on the site, on the official McFarlane Toy Store site. And I'm like, what happened to the exclusivity? Well, he owns the figure. He can backtrack that. Is it annoying? Yes. Can he do it though? Is it within his right to do it? He owns the fucking figure. Yeah. And if maybe the original contract or agreement that he entered with those brick and mortar stores to make him exclusive, maybe he doesn't, again, this kind of lends to a little bit of that transparency that I wish we would have a little bit better of. But maybe behind the scenes, we don't know this, but on their end, within the document of the agreement that he has with this retailer, it says that it's actually a timed exclusive. Kind of like how sometimes we have timed exclusives for video games where they're on PlayStation for like a year and then finally they drop on PC. Maybe it's the same thing with McFarlane, where he's like, for about a month or two, Walmart exclusive, Target exclusive, and then out of nowhere, oh hey, it's on the McFarlane Toy Store site. Pre-order now, or order a unit. And we're like, what the hell? And I wouldn't really rule out the possibility that Demon Batman might have that same thing happen to it. Rachel Dawes needs a fig, then Ra's al Ghul. Ra's al Ghul, I can see that maybe as like a gold label Walmart exclusive or singular release. Hank, Kimball, first of all, welcome to the stream. But second of all, he has a tough time putting out female superhero DC characters like Zatanna and Huntress and Wonder Woman. Do you honestly think he's gonna bother with a Rachel, who was recast for the second movie? So there's gonna be some people out there who are not gonna know, you know, there's already that confusion of Rachel looking different in Dark Knight. So it's like, no, Ra's al Ghul maybe, but even then I'm like, yeah, no, that's not happening, man. Mafex next to reissue those figures. I only need Scarecrow. I used the Movie Masters Arkham Asylum as a stand-in. Yeah, that recent Scarecrow. I could have sworn Big Bad Toy Store, I think, said that they still had it. Or did they sell out already? Could have sworn I saw. Let me check the companies. More. Where's Mafex? There you are. They still have the Robin. That Robin actually looks kind of cool. The Batman Hush Robin from Mafex. I'm like, all right, that actually looks kind of dope. Yeah, they have the Scarecrow. Anonymous Throne. First of all, I don't think I welcomed you. But are you talking about this one? Wait, hold on. Almost showed my streaming stuff. Okay. Here we go. You talking about this one? Oh, it's even got the crane head. That's cool. Yeah, it's in stock. Granted, I will admit that I think it is kind of delving into some pricey territory, 115. And then you add another like $5 for shipping. Doesn't look bad, but I think it needs to be in the double digits, not triple digits. Oh, Nolan trilogy, yeah. That one's gonna have to be aftermarket. Bro, what if Mafex made an Arkham or Rebirth Batman? Well, when you say Arkham, which Arkham? Knight? Origins? Asylum? If you're thinking about Knight, last week, and I'm actually probably going to post this video as a separate topic tomorrow, because it's already been uploaded, I just have to schedule it. But a company called LPZZ is going to be making a 1/12 Arkham Knight Batman. And it looks kind of legit. It looks actually pretty cool. And the pricing is pretty competitive. So I'm like, I'm actually have to pick that up. Review it on the channel, see how it does. And then on the Origins side, Arkham Origins, the Morphig company, which is owned by InArt / Queen Studios, they're doing Arkham Origins Batman. And so far, all those prototype photos look pretty good as well. So some upcoming competition coming towards Figuarts and Mafex. So it looks like Figuarts and Mafex are getting direct competition from Morphig and LPZZ. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that's gonna happen as 2025 goes down. Asylum, I will admit, I kind of wish that there was some more representation for Asylum, because so far it's only been the McFarlane from like a few years back with a few of the wonky proportions. So a redo of that would be nice. But if we were to get maybe something a bit more high quality, yeah, Mafex would be sick. I would pre-order that instantly. But again, to put some of these other companies on the map, if Morphig wants to do an Asylum Batman, if LPZZ wants to do Asylum Batman, wouldn't mind that either. But would a rebirth be a good idea? I don't know, because a lot of those companies tendency, well, from Mayfix maybe, because they're tackling Hush, and Hush is mostly comic based. So if Rebirth Batman gets another one of these kind of 1/12th prosumer figures, as I like to call it, it would probably be from Mayfix, maybe, but not Figure Arts or I mean I'm sorry, but not LPCZ or Morphig. They're tackling the stuff that's more popular. Okay. So here's the deal. Now, it was honestly the majority of the topics with a bonus one in there included that I wasn't planning on, but I got reminded of, and I'm glad that I got reminded of, which was the whole Mezco Joker. The topic that I kind of wanted to end on is a pretty somber one, slightly somber. That's why I kind of want to like take a breath here because it did in the thumbnail and in the title and in the text for the thumbnail, I mentioned about the current state of collecting, which is a pretty broad term as far as this hunt that I was doing earlier in the week, which I'm kind of glad that I did, even though, like I said, orders are now going to be going up online for those figures that I thought were just going to be in the store. And then the Marvel Legends stuff and discussing about that. As far as how things are going to move forward with the collecting, obviously I'm in the process of catching up on these reviews. And when the maximum stuff starts to trickle out and some other McFarlane stuff, especially like I said, that Big Bad Toy Store exclusive for the year 2 set, the black and white accented version, I'll definitely cover it. But things are going to start to slow down as far as those reviews, as far as the content on the channel. Definitely as far as hunting, especially brick and mortar physical hunting in stores. And then for sure, the streams, for those of you who are catching this live right now, are probably going to be going on a temporary hiatus. This stream is looking to be probably the final one for a little while. Consider it a bit of a season finale. Maybe not series finale, but a season finale. And the reason for why that is because starting Tuesday, it was going to be Monday, but they pushed it a day because we all collectively forgot that Monday is President's Day, February 17th. So they're going to be closed. But Tuesday, I'm starting a new job. That does involve content creation, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm actually pretty excited for an actual job. It hasn't happened in a while. But it involves content creation. It involves my own space, possibly my own office, my own desk, where I can actually like create that content that has to do with, like I said, video editing, Photoshop. I get to choose my software, my my computer, it sounds something very tailor made for me. Um, and this is technically a good thing, but of course, with its caveats, the fact that it's also a full time job means that I finally have what I'm hoping to be a reliable source of income. Uh, it is, however, a Monday through Friday sort of job, so it's going to be Monday through Friday, typical 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. or 5:30, I think it is, 9 to 5:30, 40 hours a week. Pays really well, comes with benefits, comes with its own kind of structure, and very importantly, a W-2. Um, Especially as an adult, you trust me. If you don't, appreciate it now, when you're an adult, you're gonna start to appreciate things like W-2s, especially when tax season like rolls around like it is right now. Um, so I'm definitely looking forward to it. But you just heard it right now, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, which means that these streams, which typically happen around 2 p.m. or so, sometime in the workday, is probably not going to be happening. If I'm being brutally honest and upfront. And it's Monday through Friday. So you're probably wondering, David, why don't you stream on the weekends? And I'm not ruling that out. I'm not, as the old adage says, never say never. But on the weekends, two things happen. Well, one of two things happen. First of all, now that I'm starting this job, I'm going to be wanting to rest on the weekends. But furthermore, two things happen. Either A, my girlfriend's off, so she's going to want to hang out, and that's where I'm going to have to start dedicating that time to her instead of on the weekdays because I'm going to be busy on the weekdays. Or, if she works, then my parents are probably going to be going out to eat on one of those 2 days where I have the house to myself for about an hour. And guess what I need to do during that hour? I need to be filming my own content. I'm not going to be able to film it in the middle of the week. I'm going to have to film it on those weekends and edit my own content, my own reviews. As far as this Batman Begins stuff, as far as the upcoming pre-orders for Maximum Spidey, for that Year 2 Batman set, for whatever McFarlane probably has in store and they're working on right now. And then all the other reviews that I have in the can, like the Revoltech Arkham Knight Batman, other figure art stuff that's coming down the pipeline. Fonjoy, I think the armored Batman from BVS from Fonjoy is available in some places. If that LPZZ Arkham Knight Batman drops, maybe that. If Morphig has some stuff coming down the pipeline, maybe that. That's gonna have to be covered on the weekends, And so between all the stuff that I do on the channel, as far as regular long form videos, the YouTube shorts, and then the streams, the sacrificial lamb would have to be these streams, naturally. So yeah, I've been thinking about all this, and I was like, yeah, I definitely wanted this Friday stream on Valentine's Day, out of all days, to, kind of. That's why I didn't mind it being so late in the week, because I'm like, subconsciously I knew that accepting this new job meant that, yeah, it looks like the streams are coming to an end for the time being. Like I said, never say never. Maybe on a weekend, on a whim, I'll be like, you know what, I haven't done a stream in a while. I'm gonna go live and talk about like some topics, some things that kind of evolved at that point. But in terms of it being like a weekly thing, yeah, it's gonna be a bit of a pause. So for those of you who have been tuning in and catching these streams weekly, if you guys start to not see the streams weekly, then that's why. Starting, like I said, this new gig, and this new gig will hopefully help in not only me moving out, hopefully within the span of like a month or two, so that maybe I can stream when I get home, albeit I'll probably be a little bit tired, but I'll be able to stream my own space. I'll be able to film my reviews whenever I want, and that way nothing's too like rigid, and maybe on the weekends I'll stream. There you go. So flexibility will come to the lifestyle and the channel. But it is going to be a little bit of a goodbye for now sort of situation with the streams. And same thing with the collecting. Like, with starting with this channel, if we want to be able to expedite the process of moving out, then I'm going to have to start taking a back seat on the collecting and be like, all right, we got to start putting this money off to the side so that it can go towards a place for me and the girlfriend. So yeah. So yeah, that's definitely what I wanted to kind of end things on, is to make sure that you guys knew ahead of time. And I knew that this is definitely something that I wanted to mention on the stream, because I know that that's the thing that's being affected the most. As far as the main content, I'm hoping that it'll still stay kind of regular. And if there's like a major discrepancy where I'm only posting like once every 2 weeks or something like that, especially after I get kind of like a taste for what this new job is going to be and how my work ethic is going to change or not change or whatever the case, I really want to see how this first week goes. That way I know, you know, what my meals are like, how my sleeping pattern is, and then how my energy is to be putting out content. And then we'll kind of go from there. Thank you for the congrats, Endu. King Sigma. That Maximum Trash sold out. I mean, yeah, at least on the Hasbro site, on BBTS, on Entertainment Earth, but they took their while, and on Amazon. But for BBTS and Entertainment Earth, they took a while. So that's the thing that I'm observing and thinking like, huh, that is interesting. That it wasn't immediate on those last two. Thank you for the best wishes, Maurice Phillip. Wow. Here I was thinking, like, I'm going to make this stream a lot shorter than the others, and we're still about to hit the 2 hour mark. That's crazy. BBTS and EE probably had a larger allocation than Pulse and Amazon. Yeah, that's true. But with Pulse, like I said, I think to me it's just a little telling that those were the people that made that page sell out. And unfortunately, it's the one that probably matters the most, because with the other pages, Hasbro has to like shave off a little bit of the top end to give them their cut. But they own the Hasbro Pulse site, so that's probably the one they're looking at and going, oh, you guys are selling us out on here, so we can keep charging $50, right? That's what I was thinking. I remember seeing a Rebirth Batman that was high quality, but I can't find the review anywhere. Was it the McFarlane one? Or was it a different company? Maybe it was DC Direct before McFarlane got the rights on there. Oh, speaking of last minute things that I need to do, I need to go over to a Sideshow and switch my Venom pre-order to a payment plan, because I got the email today saying that Venom is about to arrive at their warehouse. All 21 inches of Venom. Let me double check that it's the same Venom that we're talking about. Yep, it is. Item processing soon. Sorry, that was gross. All 21 inches. And I'm like, yeah, if we could just do a payment plan, I should be able to hold on to this pre-order. But yeah, it's the Spider-Man 2 Venom. So let me switch. Make sure that I'm not... Let's do the 25th. I can't do more than those payments. Why? Oh. Ew, no. So if I do the 15th, it bumps it to March. Okay, I could probably do that. Okay, I could probably do that. Update. It had a wired cape and Mayfix style articulation. Either that or it was maybe a knockoff of some kind. Got a notification of Spider-Man India coming in. For figure arts? Because I don't think there's a Hot Toys of that. Because Hot Toys, for the Across the Spider-Verse, there's Miles. There's Miles G, if you know, you know. 2099 and Spunk. They haven't made in India. For figure arts? Okay, yeah. I actually did order the figure arts Spider-Man India, but I may or may not have made the mistake of shipping it to my girlfriend's. It arrived like 2 or 3 days ago, and to this day I still haven't been able to get it because when it gets delivered to her place, it gets delivered to a locker. And the only one that has the key to that locker to get the mail is her mom. And I'm sorry, gonna talk a little bit of shit here, but her mom is super forgetful and almost airheaded in some cases, to where you're literally waiting like an additional 2-3 days because she keeps forgetting to get the mail. And by the time that me and my girlfriend are either back at her place or whatever, her mom's already asleep. So it's like, you know what I mean? Like it keeps putting it off. And I'm like, yeah, I probably shouldn't have done that. Should have shipped it here. So it's technically arrived, but I need to get it from her place. And it's a figure art, so it's small enough to go into the locker. But again, her mom's the only one with the key. So I have to wait. Very nice. Q209. Welcome. Sorry that you're joining the butt end of the stream because I was actually just about to call it. Yeah, I'm running out of wind here. Running out of wind, oxygen, voice. And probably within the next 45 minutes or so, I gotta go and grab dinner because I am hungry. Or I'm starting to get peckish despite the voluptuous pancakes that I had this morning. But they are just pancakes. Yeah, so they didn't have any kind of like protein or egg on the side or anything like that. I really want a Mayfix Nightcrawler, like from Marvel, like comic. I could see that happening maybe in 2025. There's like so many comic characters they still haven't ironed down. Am I a sucker if I bought the Mayfix Hush Batman Black version, $288 on eBay? No comment. Mayfix Beast. Yeah, there's a lot of X-Men that they still have to get through. Alright, guys. Yeah, like I said, I'm tired, and I'm still wearing my pajamas, to be quite honest. My sleeping clothes, and I hate still wearing my sleeping clothes into the day, but at the same time, I didn't want to, like, drop consistency on the stream, so, and walk away, so. But I really do want to go and change out of these clothes. And it's already, like I said, past the 2-hour mark. I'm losing my voice, and so I just wanted to. Maximum Denimus, welcome, but I have no clue what you're talking about. Like I said, I'm already gonna call it there. So maximum, thank you for tuning in. QTube, Maurice, Philip, Endu, Anonymous Throne, Hank Kimball, Don Von Doom, Brian's new dishwasher, who earlier said that he was 50-50 on whether he'll watch Brave New World. I'm on the same camp. I heard someone say that it's on the level of Shang-Chi, which I kind of expected. I'm like, all right, it's not terrible, but it's more befitting of the kind of movie that you would want to watch while you're cooking at home on Disney Plus. And I'm like, yeah, it sounds like it. Kevbot, Johnny Shen, Joshua, Supernova Moore, Maniel. Who else? Who else was here? Jason's Electric. And that really about does it. Yeah, so like I said, guys, it's going to be a while before you guys see more streams, but hey, who knows? Maybe when the new season of the Dark Spider Cast starts with new streams, might be in a new place. A better place than this. I'll keep you guys posted, but in the time being, you guys know what to do. Stay humble, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.